Hi everyone and welcome back to Newegg TV. My name is Paul and today we're bringing you a trio of cases from SENTEY. These are the Arvina line of cases. It is their Extreme division. The model number is GS6400. We have the red version, the blue version, and the black version down here. So to give you the full product tour and overview, I'm going to start out by taking a look at the case and the documentation they provided. So this is the Arvina GS6400. It's an ATX mid-tower case. Black on black, and as you can see on the right and left, we also have the red on black and the blue on black versions. The material is Japanese SECC steel as well as plastic. This does not come with a power supply. It will fit ATX and micro ATX motherboards. For expansion slots, you have 5 5¼ inch bays, 5 3.5 inch bays, and 7 open PCI expansion slots in the back. At the top, there are 4 USB 2.0 ports, 1 eSATA port, and then also 1 standard SATA port that gives you both a SATA data and power connector. There's also audio and mic, as well as a multifunction card reader on the front of the case. Finally, for cooling fans, all these fans are included. There's a 140mm fan on the front, 2 120mm fans on the top, 1 120mm fan on the back, and 2 80mm fans on the side of the case right above the video card slots. Now here you can see what we'll be showing you a bit more detail of in just a minute, but there are exclusive coolers for the video cards. There are 6 fans included. There's a toolbox included that's pretty nice. There's a top panel that has eSATA, USB, SATA, audio and mic, as well as your power switch. And also removable bays for all of your 3.5 inch drives that are actually pretty nice. There's also a cable management system, a front cooling refrigeration bay for a hard drive, and a card reader that's incorporated at the front of the case. So I can confirm that SENTEY has done a good job with the packaging here. These are very sturdy closed foam cell foam bricks that they have at either end to keep it protected, and they've also provided a nice dust cover so that it arrives in good shape. Now if you notice over on my left here, we actually have a case that the SENTEY rep was kind enough to install a power supply into, so we can take a look at the LED fans that they've included. All of those are plugged in and working. And just to show you guys the features of this case, I'm going to jump back and forth between the black version and the red version. Since the red version does have the fans and shows up a little bit better on the camera, but it also has that power supply, which, just to confirm, this power supply does not come with the case, unless otherwise specified. All right, so I'm actually going to start at the bottom of the case for this one. If you'll notice, they have all these air intakes at the bottom. This is actually a plastic mesh that looks like it would, I'm not sure right now if it's removable, but I'll check once I get the side of the case off. But that would keep a lot of dust out of the bottom. And then as far as feet, there are some rubberized points here that aren't super thick, but they should provide some noise dampening, maybe some vibration reduction. There's a look at the front of the case. You can see all of your 5¼ inch bays, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Nice SENTEY logo there. Right up here at the front is your multi-card reader. It looks like we have compact flash, XD, MS, TF, and SD card reader. Here at the top is the power on-off switch, and then there are 4 individual fan switches that are all routed to the various fans within the case. And what those will do is just turn the fan on and off. It doesn't control the speed. You push it once, fans turn off, LEDs go off. Push it again, and they will turn back on. And here at the very top, you can see this little bank of input-output items here. There are your 4 USB 2.0 ports, mic and headphone. There's a reset button, a hard drive activity light indicator. There's an eSATA port. And then you also have a serial ATA power and data plug that are just right there exposed. And they do provide a couple extension cables for that so that you can just on the fly plug in a SATA drive and connect it easily without having to get inside your case. So here is the left side panel, which is pretty nondescript as most left side panels go. It is secured by thumb screws at the back, and then this is actually a little handle that just basically keeps it closed, so you push on that once the thumb screws are off and you can pop that side panel off. The right side panel is a little bit more interesting. Here you can see They have a cover for your GPU cooling solution that they have installed in there. And I'm imagining, we'll test it over here on the red one, but I'm imagining that the LED lights will shine through that. And finally, on the back, we have a couple grommets at the top for routing water cooling hoses. There's your 120mm fan, input-output shield area. Here are your 7 PCI slots, and the PSU mount is at the bottom of the case. Alright, so there's a look at the side panel. This is just a piece of plastic that is attached to the steel side panel. So you can see there's a vent there at the back. This has a plastic, this does have a little plastic dust filter on it. And then there's the interior of the case. First thing that jumps out at you is this large piece here that fits right over where your video cards would be. You can just push that to open it up. There are 2 80mm fans on the inside. For the black and blue versions, these are blue LED fans. And basically that just closes right down and provides extra airflow over your graphics cards. So particularly if you're running some hot cards, or if you do a lot of gaming, or if you're running a dual SLI or crossfire setup, very helpful to have that extra cooling. Let's take a look at the front panel items here. There's a couple power plugs. Here are your SATA data cables for the top connectors. You also have HD audio, USB, standard front panel connectors right there. They do provide some documentation. This is just for some other SENTEY items that they have that are available. Here is your Arvina Extreme Division user manual. Here is a mysterious white box which contains, these are extension cables, which I'm pretty sure are for the 2 plugs on the top of the case. Those are just standard SATA power and data. So you can plug in a little extension cord to those, and they're actually quite long, so you can plug those in up there, power and data, and then you can route those to your drive so that you are set up to have an external drive if you need to pull data off of failing hard drives, anything like that. Lots of uses for that one. Oh, there's one other, that's just an additional front panel connector cable there. All right. For the next part of the interior, I'm going to move over to the red case because it's a little bit easier to distinguish over here. I'd like to point out that they did paint the entire interior of the case, which is very nice. It has a black finish on the red. You can see here at the back on the motherboard tray there is a cutout that looks like for most aftermarket CPU coolers. That would you'd be able to work on those without having to remove your motherboard. Again, here's your fans for the VGA, for your VGA cards. When you remove that like that, it's actually got a little connector right here, so when you pop it off, you notice the fans just turn off. That's nice. You don't have to unplug anything in order to access the interior. Again, this power supply is not included with the case, so bear that in mind. They do provide several routing points down here at the bottom, which you can't really see very well, but all these power cables are in the way. Well, anyway, there's one point down here at the bottom. Let's see if you can see it on the black version. All right, so there's a good shot of that. That's for routing the cables directly from your power supply, so it's right by there by where your power supply leads would come out. Additional routing points at the motherboard tray right there, and a higher one right up there. And that's where all of your front panel connectors are coming down from. Up here for your optical drives, they do have an automatic locking system. It's pretty simple. You push down and this pops out. It's just got a couple prongs on the back of that. You push it in and it locks, and your optical drive is locked in place. Next up for our 3.5-inch drives in the front, we have this hard drive bay with 5 slots in it. All you have to do is push down on this small latch here, and this entire bay pops out, which is very convenient. For each of these little HDD boxes that they have here, each one has a little lever there that pops the hard drive box out. All 5 of these bays have this tray in the bottom. The tray will allow you to mount 3.5-inch or 2.5-inch drives in that, so very nice to be able to mount either size drive in there. And the drive just slides back into the bay, once you get it lined up, of course. Just like that, and it locks in place. And there's your bay for all of your 3.5-inch or 2.5-inch drives. Also good to mention that this drive bay is directly behind that front 140mm fan, so that will keep them nice and cool. So, and of course we cannot forget our accessory box, which actually attaches to the case via this little latch right there. Pretty simple little accessory box to keep all of your accoutrements with. They provide you with a small Phillips head screwdriver, so you can do most of your computer work just with that. It's a nice little case wipe here to keep your case free of fingerprints. There's an additional PCI bay cover there for the back of the case. There's a couple plastic motherboard standoffs. There are all of your requisite motherboard standoffs and screws. And finally, you have a small speaker to plug into your motherboard's speaker plug. There you have it, and actually just wanted to also show. So there's an example of how these front panel buttons work, just to turn the LEDs on or off. They're just a single switch, on-off switch, but nice to be able to do that if you want to quiet down the computer or turn the LEDs off. All right, so there you have it, guys. This is the SENTEY Arvina case, the Extreme Division GS6400 series, red, blue, and black. They are all available at Newegg.com. Thanks a lot for watching Newegg TV today, everyone, and we'll see you next time.